Let's get right into it. Number 10. The bystander effect. Imagine you collapse on a busy city street. Hundreds of people walk past. Nobody stops. This isn't a thought experiment. It's a documented psychological phenomenon called the bystander effect, and it gets worse the more people are around. In 1964, a woman named Kitty Genovese was attacked outside her New York apartment building, while dozens of neighbors reportedly heard or witnessed the assault. Almost nobody called for help. Psychologists later ran experiments where they staged emergencies in front of one person versus a crowd. When someone was alone, they helped about 70% of the time. In a crowd of 5 strangers, that number dropped to 40%. The reason is something called diffusion of responsibility. When you're the only witness to an emergency, the obligation falls entirely on you. When there are 20 people around, your brain quietly assumes someone else will handle it. Everyone assumes the same thing simultaneously. The result is a crowd of people, all waiting for someone else to be the hero, while nobody moves. The most dangerous place to have a medical emergency isn't a dark alley. It's a crowded shopping mall. Number 9. You like things simply because you've seen them before. Your brain has a deeply embarrassing flaw. It confuses familiarity with quality. Psychologist Robert Zajonc ran experiments in the 1960s where he showed people shapes, symbols, and faces they had never seen before. Then he showed them everything again, mixed in with new items. People consistently rated the familiar items as more likable, more trustworthy, and more attractive, despite having zero actual reason to prefer them. They had simply seen them before. This is called the mere exposure effect, and it explains an uncomfortable amount of your life. Why do you keep listening to a song that annoyed you the first time? Repeated exposure. Why do you prefer familiar brands over potentially better alternatives? Repeated exposure. Why does that face you keep seeing around your office start to seem more attractive over time? Repeated exposure. Advertisers have known about this for decades. The entire point of running the same commercial 40 times isn't to convince you with logic. It's to make their product feel like something you already know. Your brain mistakes recognition for preference, and companies have built billion-dollar industries on that one mistake. Number 8. You will deny obvious truth to fit in with a group. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch showed people a line on a card and asked them to identify which of 3 other lines matched its length. The answer was completely obvious. There was no trick. Then Asch put each real participant in a room full of actors who all confidently gave the wrong answer. Around 75% of participants gave the wrong answer at least once during the experiment, simply to avoid disagreeing with the group. Many of them genuinely started to doubt their own eyes. They were not stupid people. They were ordinary people whose brains prioritized social belonging over observable reality. When asked afterward, some said they knew the answer was wrong but didn't want to stand out. Others genuinely believed they must have been mistaken. The same mechanism that made people follow the tribe away from predators is the one making people agree with things they know are false in a meeting, nod along with opinions they privately disagree with, and change their stated beliefs the moment they sense social disapproval. Your ability to trust your own perception collapses faster than you think under the right social pressure. Number 7. Your brain makes decisions before you consciously decide. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet ran experiments that made philosophers deeply uncomfortable. He hooked participants up to brain scanners and asked them to flick their wrist whenever they felt like it, noting the moment they consciously decided to move. The brain scanners picked up electrical activity, signaling the movement up to 550 milliseconds before participants reported making the decision. Their brains had already started the process before they were consciously aware of choosing anything. More recent experiments using advanced brain imaging have predicted participants' decisions up to 10 seconds before they were made. The conscious experience of deciding something, that clear feeling of "I am choosing this right now," appears to happen after the brain has already started executing the decision. What feels like free will might be your brain's way of narrating choices it has already made. The unsettling implication is that the you making decisions and the you aware of making decisions might not be the same thing. Number 6. You walk out of a meeting with a stain on your shirt and spend the rest of the day convinced everyone noticed. You say something awkward in a group conversation and replay it for hours, assuming everyone is doing the same. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, and experiments confirm that you are dramatically overestimating how much attention other people are giving you. In one study, researchers asked participants to walk into a room full of people wearing an embarrassing t-shirt. Participants estimated that around half the room noticed the shirt. When researchers asked the room, the actual number was closer to 25%. People are so absorbed in their own internal spotlight, worrying about how they appear, what they just said, and whether that joke landed, that they have very little mental bandwidth left to scrutinize you. The audience you're performing for largely does not exist. Everyone is too busy being the main character of their own anxiety to notice yours. Number 5. Judges give harsher sentences before lunch. In 2011, researchers analyzed over 1,000 parole board decisions in Israeli courts. What they found was alarming. Prisoners who appeared before the board at the start of the day or right after a food break were granted parole about 65% of the time. Prisoners who appeared later in the session, as the judges got hungrier and more fatigued, received parole less than 10% of the time. The legal arguments hadn't changed. The prisoners' records hadn't changed. The only variable was how long it had been since the judge last ate. This is called decision fatigue. The more decisions your brain makes, the more it starts cutting corners. It defaults to the easiest, most conservative option, which in a courtroom means denial. The same effect shows up in doctors prescribing unnecessary medications toward the end of long shifts, loan officers approving riskier loans late in the day, and hiring managers rating later candidates lower than earlier ones with identical qualifications. Your brain treats mental energy like a battery, and when it runs low, it stops thinking carefully. The quality of life-changing decisions people make about you depends partly on what they had for breakfast. Number 4. Incompetent people don't know they're incompetent. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger ran a series of tests measuring participants' skills in logic, grammar, and humor. Then they asked participants to estimate how well they had performed compared to everyone else. The people who scored in the bottom quarter consistently believed they had performed above average, not slightly above average. Significantly above average. The less someone knew about a subject, the more confidently they believed they understood it. The effect works in reverse too. Genuinely skilled people tend to underestimate their abilities because they assume tasks that feel easy to them must feel equally easy to everyone else. The result is a world where the loudest, most confident voices in any room are statistically more likely to belong to the people who understand the least about what's being discussed. Expertise breeds uncertainty. Ignorance breeds confidence. The Dunning-Kruger effect is not a quirk of human psychology. It's the default setting. Number 3. The Marshmallow test measured wealth, not willpower. For decades, the Stanford Marshmallow test was held up as proof that self-control in childhood predicts success in adulthood. Researchers sat 4-year-olds in front of a marshmallow and told them they could eat it now or wait 15 minutes and get 2. Children who waited were supposedly more likely to succeed in school and life. The problem is a 2018 study reran the experiment with a much larger and more economically diverse group of children and found that the predictive power of the marshmallow test almost completely disappeared once you controlled for family income. Kids from wealthier families waited longer, not necessarily because they had superior willpower, but because they had learned through experience that adults keep their promises. A child who grows up in an environment where resources are unreliable learns very quickly that a marshmallow in hand is worth more than a promise of 2 marshmallows later. The original test had been measuring economic security and trust in institutions, then calling it self-control. An entire generation of parenting advice was built on a flawed conclusion. Number 2. Your memory is not a recording, it's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, you are not replaying a stored file. You are rebuilding the memory from fragments, and each time you rebuild it, you subtly alter it based on your current mood, recent experiences, and what you believe should have happened. Psychologist Elizabeth Loftus spent decades demonstrating that human memory is alarmingly easy to corrupt. In one famous experiment, she showed people footage of a car accident and then asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. Another group was asked the same question but with the word contacted instead of smashed. The smashed group consistently reported higher speeds and were also significantly more likely to falsely remember seeing broken glass that wasn't in the footage. The word choice alone implanted false details. People have gone to prison based on eyewitness testimony confidently delivered by someone whose memory was reshaped in the hours or days after an event, without them ever knowing. The memory you are most certain about is the one you have reconstructed the most times, and therefore potentially changed the most. Number 1. Your brain filters out most of reality. Your eyes send roughly 10 million bits of information to your brain every second. Your brain consciously processes about 50 of those bits. The rest gets silently discarded before you ever become aware of it. Your brain decides what matters and presents you with an edited highlight reel, and it is extremely selective. Psychologists Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris demonstrated this with a video where participants were asked to count basketball passes between players wearing white shirts. In the middle of the video, a person in a gorilla suit walks through the scene, stops, beats their chest, and walks off. About half of all viewers never see the gorilla. They are looking directly at it and their brain deletes it because they are focused on counting. This is called inattentional blindness, and it happens constantly in real life. You miss things in plain sight every single day because your brain decided they weren't relevant to what you were already thinking about. The world you experience is not the world that exists. It is the world your brain decided was worth showing you, with everything else quietly cut from the frame. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.